Wolves are close. Yeah, we might be in a rural neighborhood, but man, this is as rural as it gets. When your house is about a quarter mile that way, and then you got all these houses spread out down the road that way. There's just woods. Love it. Love it. Go in a little deeper, eh? I never really paid attention to this tree. That is the top, eh? It's really bedded down right here. It's kind of out exploring. There's some hatched turkey eggs right there. Stepped into a box without even knowing it. Right here. Right here. A lot of traffic right here. I see something that could possibly be a match, but there's not enough there to distinguish it. Now, what turns me on to the idea is that this could very well have been the heel going up to the pad, which has later been stepped over by what appears to be a four-legged, maybe the wolves that we just heard earlier. But we look at the tree next, or we look at the trail, and it's really off the beaten path, isn't it? But you can still see it, all the crunching going straight down that way. And notice how open it is, how high it is that it's open too. We come down here right next to this tree where we get squashed into this corridor, and notice all of the twigs have been broken off on this side, leaving us a nice little pathway. Question is, where does it go? I just took a few steps is all. This is interesting. Look at, why do we keep coming across the teepee structures? Now, has this been rooted? Is this rooted into the ground? Let's see. It is not. That is stabbed into the ground. Imagine that. And there's the tree we were just analyzing right there. And notice the top of that one. This little guy right here. The top is snapped off and just hanging down like that. Like snapped and then left. That's interesting. Now, this is something that I recognize off of the reservation, and I was told that this is a trail marker. So we are actually onto something here, something interesting. So the idea is to follow. Oh, dude, look at this, look at this, look at this. So that's stabbed into the ground. Okay. Now we're going to follow it up. Pine trees do not weave. And it goes into a doorway. We have an archway here. Perfect to step through, too. See a lot of four-legged movement through here. Canine, definitely. I'm seeing claws, and it's too small to be a bear. Canine dung. Oh, what do we have here? Kind of a little pile up, isn't it? Okay. Now, it's hard to see it on camera, but stepping over something like this, you have to pay attention to where you're going to be stepping, because another person is going to be stepping in the same way. Now, this isn't definitive. This is just what my eyes are seeing right now, but I see a heel. I see a heel going up to the toes that are deeper in, and when they step, if you guys have noticed on the casts that they leave us, when they step, their toes kind of curl, and it drags a bunch of that stuff back. So this could possibly be one of the kids that we've been studying and working with. So it's possible. Okay, don't hold me to that. I'm just exploring all avenues here. Okay, moving on. Okay, this is already recognized as kind of a fence line, but this could just be, windfall too. But if it is a fence, oh, is that the neighbor? Is that the neighbor talking? is that the neighbor? I'm wearing the wrong boots for sneaking. I heard distinctive chatter, and then that's a neighbor. That's a neighbor calling his dog. Okay. Anyways, back to the fence. We're stepping over it. Let's see what happens. I don't like to step out into the open. Time for dinner, so I'm making my way back. Sounds like the neighbor's dog up the way ran off. That looks like bear. Oh, yeah. Either bear or sick moose. Whoa. Ooh. Turkey feathers. Check that out. Nice turkey feathers. Very nice. Look at these. Beautiful. This one is really nice, you guys. Look at that. Oh, that is pretty. Ooh, got the floof. Always gotta collect the floof. That is a floof. Alright. Let's take a look at this interesting tree here. Wow. This is just really cool looking. I mean, it looks natural. There's the other piece to it. So that break is that piece. Now, the other side is that upper piece that's leaned. What doesn't make sense to me is how far past it's leaned, you guys. How far past it's leaned. That is the break that belongs there. I mean, if it was going to snap that way, I'm not saying this is impossible for nature to do this, but this is a tricky one. This is a tricky one. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to post it as evidence. I'm not going to state it as any type of activity other than very interesting. So, moving on. Where are we headed? Dinner. That's where we're headed. You guys, it's about to get really weird. So the feather I had picked up last week is now placed in the exact same spot that I picked it up. That is trippy. That's trippy. I brought that back to the table, put it on the table, and now it was taken from the table and now it's placed on the exact same spot that I found it last week. No kidding. That's interesting. What are the odds of the exact same type of feather being dropped in the exact same spot that I picked it up last week? What are the odds of that? That's strange. I think I see another feather. He's on a feather hunt, you guys. Ooh, what do we got here? What is this? Ooh, floof got me. What is that? That's got to be a neck feather for the turkey. Yeah, that's a neck feather for the turkey. You can see the white tip on that. A lot of pretty feathers today, you guys. This is a treat. See, my trail's starting to work, actually, just from walking in the same spot over and over again. Well, plan is, I'm going to go put all these feathers on the table because they've been liking the feathers, so why not? They're all very pretty feathers, each one of them. So, all right, it's time for dinner, and I'm exiting the woods. Have a good night, you guys.